Now, you've said a lot of things at a very deeper level,
Mhm.
and there are people at different levels. There are people who want to get
Yeah.
started. There are people who are already, started and probably need to know how to
Yeah.
progress. But I would like us to pick the conversation from people who are yet to get started. We could even talk about, let's say, students who are, let's say, in school or
Mm.
university, studying any program that would lead them to becoming a data analyst.
Mm.
These could also be people who probably want to switch jobs. So they probably are doing something else at the moment and they're looking at getting into data analyst roles. I want you to give us insight. Talk about how they can go about this process. So first we have students, right, who are already studying this, so they're getting all the necessary information they need from university. But again, we know that university is still more of like a generic thing. So there are some things you would still need to do to have an advantage when you come out of the university. So
Mm.
I think we should stay on that first before we now move to people who would now want to switch. Let's say they're doing something not related to data analyst, but they just want to get into data analyst. But first, let's look at students
Yeah.
who probably their first, second, third, or those who are about to graduate and they're studying something data analyst related. What would you tell them from the point where you are now? What would you tell them? What is that thing you tell them that would really help them to have leverage upon graduating?
I think the first thing I would tell them is don't expect anything you are studying to actually show up in your workspace. Like,
That's a blow, man. That's a blow.
not to say that you won't use those skills, right? It's
Yeah,
just that the way that we're taught in school is like the very best case scenario, the most ideal situations, and
yeah,
the full spectrum, right? Like you'll go from coming up with the hypothesis and building that out and building that model and like tuning it and all of that stuff. But in the real world, depending on where you go and work, because some companies do allow you to do that, but most companies, you'll come in and you'll find something that's already been built. All you need to do is maintain that thing. And it can be very, very boring. Like,
yeah,
don't expect to come into something and start at the very bottom where all you're going to be doing is just understanding what's already there,
yeah,
understanding how to make changes, and figuring out, learning the processes of how these changes are made. One of the things that wasn't really taught, in at least when I was doing my studies, and I studied software engineering, was
yeah,
CI/CD, DevOps.
yeah.
Never featured, never, ever, ever. But try and go into a company right now and you don't know DevOps. You do it.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
DevOps is basically the way that you operate in terms of developing software, right? There are processes in place. And the reason that these processes are in place is so that you can do things in a responsible way and in a way that consults different stakeholders that need
Yeah,
part of the process, right?
yeah,
So things like that you might not be taught in school. Maybe these days they're teaching them. Please, I finished university in 2018. Like maybe my curriculum is outdated. So if they are teaching you that, it's like a really good sign. But what I would say is really don't discount everything that you're learning right now, because that is kind of the basis for your judgments and the decisions that you're going to be making in the role that you're going to be having.
mm,
I would say spend more time building things that you are not instructed to build, right? Don't just stop at the assignment. Like literally think about whatever interests you and try and build something around it. There are tutorials all around in terms of like YouTube and Udemy and whatever that can teach you how to build stuff. And you just really need to get used to get into the motion, into the habit of practicing and building things out and debugging, because the first time you try it, you probably
yeah,
get it right. And you
yeah,
know more from fixing bugs than actually
yeah.
getting things right the first
True,
time.
true thing. Yeah,
You
true
would
thing.
know exactly. So I think those are the first things that I need to like set out for people to understand.
All
Um,
right.
but another thing I would say is make sure that you are having a purpose of like why you're doing what you're doing. Don't just be building technology for the sake of, oh, this is a new tool, or everybody's saying you must do that thing, or let's do that thing. Yes, do it, try
Yeah,
it, but not to say that that's like a purpose, is to be able to always try things. I think the most effective people are the people that pick, let's say, a technology stack and
yeah,
deeper into that stack are able to do more things, more advanced.